As was shared this week, last Tuesday, March 15th, the session approved the updated framework for our ongoing pandemic response. In preparing and approving this framework, careful and prayerful consideration was given, as always, to the most recent public health guidance, the diverse needs of our family of faith, and our continuing focus on caring for the most vulnerable among us, as Christ teaches us to do. So as you can see, the framework establishes 5 levels of concern, as we're calling them, and the St. Croix County COVID-19 data ranges for each of those are in the lovely levels of concern thermometer. We're going to check these data points each Thursday at 12 noon on the website covidactnow.org to determine where we are at, and then wherever we're at that time, we'll then dictate our safety protocols for the following Friday through Thursday. So as you see here, we're currently at the medium concern level. That's where the data was at noon this past Thursday. And since I am well aware that there is a lot of information in very fine print on this document, what I want to do is walk you quickly through the graphics that you'll see in the coming weeks to help you know what our precautions will be for that week. So let's start with the low level of concern. So these are our basic precautions that will be in effect at all times. They're what you'd expect. Wash your hands frequently. Stay home when you're sick. God gave us rest for a reason. Get tested for COVID-19 if you have symptoms or were exposed, and we're here to help you access those tests as needed. Just give me a call. And then stay up to date on those COVID-19 vaccines and boosters. We know that that's both an act of caring for you and for the community as we look to stop the spread. So you can think of these as our new normal, or the new normal we hope to have as soon as possible. And I want to note here that regardless of our level of concern, anyone may choose to mask at any time if that is more comfortable to you. We fully acknowledge and urge everyone to keep in mind that we do have several people in our congregation who are immunocompromised and thus at higher risk of severe illness, and we have children under 5 that are still ineligible for COVID-19 vaccines. So in fact, you're likely to see me, as you did today, with my mask still on a lot of the time. As you know, one of my children is still too young to be vaccinated, so it's our family practice to just mask in public as a basic precaution. Plus, as your pastor, I really strive to do everything I can to reduce my exposure, to get that risk as low as possible when I'm going to visit some of our most high-risk members. So, onward then. As the case counts in as the COVID-19 case counts in St. Croix County or the positivity rate for tests rise, that's when we'll go up our thermometer or up our levels of caution and add additional precautions. So when we get to medium, as we are now, we'll layer on top of our basic precautions having the doors open. That helps us maximize our ventilation. As we move up from there to the high level of concern, we're going to again ask you to mask, requiring masks in the sanctuary and the main entry hall on Sunday mornings. Mask will be optional in the fellowship hall after worship and for small group gatherings, but it's our hope that by requiring masks for worship, that makes our worship time as accessible to as many people as possible. Similarly, at this level, at the high level to care for the youngest among us, we'll also require masks for those working directly with our younger children, at least until such time as the COVID-19 vaccine is approved and widely available for them. And finally, at this level, we will again start to ask our small group leaders to keep track of people who are in attendance at events, should contact tracing be needed, and we'll modify our communion service and passing of the peace just to minimize some of the movement in the sanctuary during worship. And then, if the levels rise to the places I hope we never see again, if they do, we'll layer up additional precautions. So as you can see, at the critical level, That's when we'll again require masks at all times and physical distancing, and we'll temporarily not allow food and drink again to limit those unmasked encounters. And God forbid we ever have another surge like the Omicron surge and rise to extreme concern. Then it will be at the session discretion to once again limit or eliminate our congregational singing or move temporarily to Zoom-only worship. So we hope this framework will give everyone a little bit of longer-term guidance as we seek to balance the diverse needs of our community, but we encourage everyone to continue participating in the way that is best for you, either in person or remotely, given your circumstances. And we know that that might change week to week as circumstances change. But we know we can continue to persevere and be resilient by giving grace and love to one another.